Just one more thing of mine. They say every man goes blind in his heart. They say everybody steals somebody's heart away. And I've been wondering why you let me down. And I've been taking it all for granted.
I will stroll the merry way and jump the hedges first. I will drink clear, clean water for to quench my thirst. I'll go watch the ferry boats and I'll get high on the blue ocean against the water sky. I will walk and talk in gardens all wet with rain. I will never, ever, ever grow so old again.
The Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a suitable partner for him." So the Lord God formed out of the ground various wild animals and various birds of the air, and he brought them to the man to see what he would call them. Whatever the man called each of them would be its name. The man gave names to all the cattle, all the birds of the air, and all wild animals, but none proved to be a suitable partner for the man. So the Lord God cast a deep sleep on the man, and while he was asleep, he took out one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. The Lord God then built up into a woman the rib that he had taken from the man. When he brought her to the man said, "This one, at last, is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one shall be called woman, for out of her man this one has been taken." That is why a man leaves his father and mother and clings to his wife, and the two of them become one body. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Brothers and sisters, strive eagerly for the greatest spiritual gifts. But I shall show you a still more excellent way. If I speak in human and angelic tongue, but do not have love, I am a resounding gong or a clashing cymbal. And if I have the gift of prophecy and comprehend all mysteries and all knowledge, if I have all faith so as to move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away everything I own, and if I hand my body over so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It is not jealous. It is not pompous. It is not inflated. It is not rude. It does not seek its own interests. It is not quick-tempered. It does not brood over injury. It does not rejoice over wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never fails. The word of the Lord.
When the wine ran short, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, how does your concern affect me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now there were 6 stone water jars there for Jewish ceremonial washings, each holding 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus told them, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Draw some out now. Take it to the head waiter." So they took it. And when the head waiter tasted the water that had become wine, without knowing where it came from, although the servants who had drawn the water knew, the head waiter called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves good wine first, and then when people have drunk freely, an inferior one. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this as the beginning of his signs in Cana in Galilee, and so revealed his glory, and his disciples began to believe in him. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise be to you, Lord Jesus Christ. This is such a happy day for you and for your families. And the Mappers intervened over the last 40 years, telling me that I should not preach long. So I will try to keep it focused. Did say that one of the things I want you to know is that in the celebration of a wedding, as we are doing today, the church now has so many options, and it is the couple themselves who get to pick the prayers, the readings, and so many other things, obviously the music. And so it is a celebration that reflects who they are. And I think it's important for you to know that they did choose this, and very diligently. I would have liked to have more time to find out why they chose what they did, but those are mysteries still hidden from them. But nonetheless, when we hear that first reading, and by the way, our readers were really magnificent. The first reading is presenting to us the basic mystery of marriage as we see it from the perspective of faith. And it is very clearly a recognition of the relationship of man and woman in which they give themselves completely to one another for life. For life. And so we see in that first reading the basic human reality that draws them together. But it is not just a human reality that is manifested, but a relationship in the presence of God and confirmed by God. the basic characteristics of marriage: unity and dissolubility. You would say, one man, one woman. Even though our society today wants to say something different, in faith, we see this mystery of marriage as one man, one woman, given to each other for the rest of their life. Not to be broken. It is a relationship in which they promise and commit themselves to a faithful relationship in which they share the whole of their life in an exclusivity, if you will, so that nothing is left out. There is not, don't ask me any questions about what happens at work. Don't ask me questions about what I do on my time off or when I'm out with the guys or the gals. No. This relationship shares everything between the two of them. And it is a relationship that is open to children, open to new life, the creativity that will exist between them on so many different levels. The grandparents in particular keep looking for, I don't know why the grandparents, but maybe your parents are just being respectful, but the grandparents are looking for grandchildren. So you can get read on that. I promised them I would say that. So that openness to life, though, is an openness to the creativity on a much bigger scale. Because there is a social creativity, there is an intellectual, professional creativity. Both of you have committed yourselves to a medical career. And that begins then to open to the bigger picture of what we are celebrating here, the sacrament of marriage, which is not just the human reality, but adds to it another dimension. And it is the dimension of our commitment to Jesus Christ, our being immersed in the mystery of Jesus, the Savior of the world, and that through baptism and confirmation. In that mystery, the very giving of yourself to each other is changed. It is not just the creativity that we see from the Old Testament, but it looks to Jesus as he is present to us on the cross, giving his life in an innocent victim, a self-sacrificing love which becomes the model of your relationship to each other. And we look for that, specifically, a redemptive work that you continue together with the Savior of the world. We look to you to live that love, that redemptive love, with each other. We need to see that in the world. We need your redeeming love in the world. And as you take on this responsibility for a medical career, it is taking the immersion in the priesthood of Jesus at baptism into a very specific realm. That is, you are in your own priestly way, that priesthood of the laity, the priesthood of the married now that you are receiving, that priesthood which cares for the broken body of Christ, the suffering body of Christ. That we would hope that you would see your patients and those that you deal with as being the objects of your own care. They, the body of Christ, suffering in need of healing, in need of love, in need of redemption, that you will be able to bring to them. We are happy for you. And we are looking forward, and it is an interesting thing that of the sacraments of the Church, this is the one that is not given by a minister other than you. You give this sacrament to each other. You are exercising that priesthood of Jesus, which makes of your love and your relationship the sign of the world that gives us hope. And so, for that reason, we have planned and everything. I will, in a moment, step down. I'll shut up. The homily will be at an end, and we will have the actual wedding ceremony. However, I am going to be taking place down with the rest of the congregation, and you will stand before us to make the sacrament happen, to commit yourself, because what makes the marriage is your consent to be married to each other. What makes it a sacrament is the fact that you are baptized. And so, in that priestly baptismal reality, I am going to invite you to stand, and I'm going to ask my servers to come down and have something to drink, and I am going to invite your wedding party.
Your responses, Lord, hear our prayer. For Julie and for Nick, for their well-being as a new family, we pray for you, Lord. For their grandparents, their parents, their families, their relatives, their friends, and all those who love them, all those who have assisted this beautiful couple, we pray to the Lord. For all young people preparing to enter marriage, and for all whom the Lord is calling to another state of life, we pray to the Lord. For all families throughout the world and for lasting peace among all people, we pray to the Lord. For all members of our families who have passed from this world, we pray to the Lord. For the Church, the holy people of God, and for unity among all Christians, we pray to the Lord.
Dearly beloved Nicholas and Julianne, you have come into the house of the Church so that in the presence of the Church's minister and the community, your intention to enter marriage may be strengthened by the Lord with a sacred seal. Christ abundantly blesses the love that binds you. Through a special sacrament, he enriches and strengthens those he has already consecrated by holy baptism, that they may be faithful to each other forever and assume all the responsibilities of married life. And so in the presence of the Church, I ask you to state your intentions. Nicholas and Julianne, have you come here to enter into marriage without coercion, freely and wholeheartedly?
I have.
Are you prepared as you follow the path of marriage to love and honor each other for as long as you both shall live?
I am.
Are you prepared to accept children lovingly from God and to bring them up according to the law of Christ and his Church?
I am.
Since it is your intention to enter the covenant of holy matrimony, join your right hands and declare your consent before God and his Church. Do you, Nicholas, take Julianne to be your lawful wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and cherish until death do you part?
I do.
Do you, Julianne, take Nicholas to be your lawful husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish until death do you part?
I do.
May the Lord in his kindness strengthen the consent you have declared before the Church and graciously bring the fulfillment of his blessing within you. What God joins together, let no one put asunder.
Julianne, take this ring as a sign of love and fidelity. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Nicholas, take this ring.
Nicholas, take this ring, the sign of my love and fidelity, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
present to you Mr. and Mrs. Nicholas and Julianne.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Yes, you're lovely, with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you and the way you look tonight. With each word.
Hi everybody, as Lizzie said, my name is Hannah. I am the youngest sister of our bride, and we are about 8 years apart, but those 8 years only seem like a few months. She's one of my best friends. I rely on her for everything and anything. I can tell her anything about myself. And Mr. Nick over here, he's been around for about half of my life. I'm surprised we haven't scared him off by now. We can't seem to get rid of him around here. But being the youngest sibling of 5 kids, you have to go through a lot of traumatic experiences. And one of my most traumatic experiences probably was when Julie moved to college. So ever for about the first 2 weeks of her college, I would call her bawling my eyes out every single night, and no matter where she was, what party she was at, she would pick up the phone and talk to me. So I began to develop this habit where every single time a sibling would go to college, I would steal a teddy bear, multiple sweatshirts, t-shirts, occasionally their beds for the night, and just so I didn't bother them too much. And one of the favorite things I stole from Julie was this little shamrock teddy bear. And little did I know, when I stole this little teddy bear, it was actually a gift from Nick. They called it Baby. So, not only do I have to thank Julie for giving me something to get through the days, but I also have to thank Nick. So, thank you for always being like a second big brother to me, and now officially my second big brother. Congratulations, you guys.
Hi, everybody. I am Julie's other sister, Chrissy, and growing up, Julie's little sister, you have very big shoes to fill. Everybody here knows she's beautiful and intelligent, and she's one of the most hardworking people I know. And I recently realized that having an older sister that has such big shoes to fill is actually a blessing, because you have someone there to give you advice and guidance and motivate you, and occasionally you have a great shoulder to cry on if you need it. So, I mean, regardless of what she was doing, work or school, she always takes all of our phone calls for every silly little problem we have. So I guess it's safe to say I have a pretty perfect big sister. And now I have a second really great big brother. Note the second great brother. Joel's first. Close second. Best for last, everybody. Alright, so growing up as kids, my parents always told us that you're stuck with each other. You know, 5 of us, you're stuck with each other, no matter what. And you don't get to choose your family, right? So, you know, being stuck with each other, we obviously learned to care for each other, love each other, and support each other, you know, no matter how many fights we got into that day, which might include fists, you know. Oh, gosh. And being stuck with my older siblings, because I am one of the youngest, you learn a couple things along the way. I'm about to cry. Oh, God. Julie, you're... It's already ruined. I've been crying all day. As you can tell, I love her a lot. Anyway, so being stuck with Julie, I learned a lot along the way. She taught me to be hardworking and dedicated, you know, in academics, especially because she's the golden child of the family. She taught me to never give up in the times we were working out for prepping for this wedding, and literally probably wanted to puke half the time we were doing it. She taught me to make the best of any situation, like the times I came over crying to your bed at 2 in the morning over some boy. But most importantly, you taught me what love can blossom into. Although you didn't get stuck, you got stuck with our siblings, you didn't get stuck with Nick. You got to choose him. Who knows if that's a bad choice or a good choice, but we will find out. Nick, I gotta say, you're probably one of the best people I know. You're smart, kind, funny. Let's make you cry, Nick. You're everything I want. I think Julie wanted a man, and I'm so happy that you guys are together. Oh my God. Oh. No, I'm sorry I'm taking so so long. It makes me cry. Anyways, to wrap it up, I want you guys to remember 2 important things in the years to come. 1, remember why you guys chose to be stuck with each other through your ups and downs. And 2, although you guys chose to be stuck with each other, remember you're always stuck with the Matthews gang.
Hello to the room. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Joe. I'm Nick's younger brother. I'm Tom. I'm Nick's older brother. Oldest. That's right. People forget that. We had a thing rehearsed. We're going to see how this goes. We don't like to plan them. I know. We like to save it to the last minute. So thank you to Joel and Maureen. Thank you to Tom and Lacey, my mom, my dad, for putting this whole thing together. It's amazing to see. Yeah. She's Lacey. She's my Lacey. It's amazing to see so many wonderful people in one room gathered together for a absolutely wonderful occasion. Wedding. Marriage.
It's not the engagement. The engagement was before.
I said occasion. Oh. Yeah. How did we start this? That was a really good speech, and we're very glad to hear a lot of great stuff about Julie and some great stuff about Nick. We're going to shift gears here because the next couple minutes are just going to be all about Nick, which is really what, as you can tell, he and everybody else here wants. This day is all about Nick. Anyone that knows Nick knows this is very fitting. So, Tom, your next brother, obviously, how long has Nick been your brother exactly? Well, I'm what, 20, going on 29, 28, so he's got to be going on 26, 27 years?
I don't remember.
Let's say, we'll call it 26, just over a quarter century.
Okay.
And how about you? Nick's been my brother about my whole life. Yeah. That's longer than my whole life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well, no, it's
not
actually
much.
shorter than your life.
Well, it's not been my whole life. I've known other people too. You just know Nick. That's pretty incredible. So, do you have any good stories about Nick? Anything you can tell us? I got a lot of stories about Nick.
Which ones are the good ones?
Oh, the good ones. Well, I don't know. I got a lot of those too. Call me A, little call me B. I don't know. We've skied in our underwear together. Anyone that's seen Nick without a shirt off knows he's got like a really nice chest. I'm pretty sure someone's eating cereal out of that divot.
Oh yeah.
He's like our Tony Stark. All right, then. Oh, you might remember this. There was that one time you guys put me in that dryer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember that, but you know, it seemed Joe was small enough at one point that he could fit into very small places. So we were like, well, the dryer's a natural thing.
So what about? Do you have any good stories about Nick?
Oh man. Well, you mentioned that skiing one. So skiing was always a big thing growing up, which is something we haven't done a lot of lately. But that's okay. Nick, this is very vivid. I can't remember what years we go. Oh, I just said it was vivid. I can't remember how old we were, but we were little. Joe was skiing with us. Annie may or may not have been around, probably in the lodge somewhere. But we've been going down this hill. It was like a medium-style hill, the blue square, if you're skiers and like familiar with the difficulties, right? And there was this big dip at the bottom of it. I took it and tumbled down from it and was just like, all right, I'm out. I'm tapped out. Went to the lodge, sat at the bottom of the lodge, ate my pizza, my chicken fingers like a little boy, and Nick was like, I'm going back out. So of course Dad was like, oh, I gotta go back out too. And then so I'm sitting in this lodge, this big glass windows, like watching people come down. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It'd be cool to do that. And then Nick comes flying down, just like straight down the hill. Probably, yeah, pizza style. The skis like this, borderline slowing down, but not really. Fearless, all the way to the bottom, stops at the last minute. Woo, that was awesome. And it was just, to watch this as the older brother, it was like, man, if he could do that, shit, I could do that too. And to kick off kind of what we're going to talk about here is Nick has always been, from day one, just kind of pushing the limit of what we thought we could do, and then showing us like, oh, you can do this too. Joe, do you have a story about that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've got a big one in my life. Nick and I swam together. Anyone that knows the Boniface boys knows we swam. And we were very much a dynamic duo. Nick and Tom before me, and then Nick and myself. And I remember junior year, I'd worked so hard for this tournament. I'd worked all year, and it was basically my life. I'd put everything into this event. And I get up to the block, and I miss my event, and I get disqualified. And I'm out of the entire tournament, and it was devastating. It was, in memory, it was one of the lowest points in my life. It was high school and everything, but this was the first time I had something that I worked so hard for taken away from me. And at one of my lowest moments, it came as a big surprise to me that the person I was competing against, the person that was antagonizing me constantly at home, and at the pool, was my biggest cheerleader. It came out of nowhere. I didn't want to leave my room. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to look at anyone. And I remember Nick coming to me and telling me, dude, there's more to you than this sport. There's more to Joe than what you're doing right now. He said, use this time you have to explore other things. Use this time to explore your creativity, draw, play your bass, explore a little bit. And he pulled me out of a really dark place at that moment. He's my older brother. He was the one that was always picking at me and messing with me. Yeah. And at the time when I really needed someone, he was the one that was there to show me, look, you're not limited by this. You can shoot right past it. You can shoot towards something amazing. And ultimately, I don't believe I would be doing the things I'm doing today if it weren't for Nick helping me at that moment.
I don't think any of us would be, right?
I don't think any of us would be, yeah. So to that point, the theme of Nick's life is the line in the sand and saying, some people step across the line, Nick looks at it and runs as fast as he can past it.
Right across.
So in high school, people would tell him, oh, you can't do this at the same time as this. Joe mentioned we're swimmers, right? Swimming is a winter sport. Nick was like, no, I want to do debate team. So he signed up for the debate team at the same time as swim team was happening. And meanwhile, he was a state level swimmer, like best in Ohio. So he's doing this other thing at the same time, and oh yeah. What was he doing in debate? Oh, he was doing extemporaneous, which is...
What is that?
Apparently it's a form of bullshit. Tom, tell me, was Nick good at that? Nick wasn't just good at it, he was the best. He went to state in that too. So while he was kicking everybody's butt in the pool, in like real results, he was bullshitting his way to the state finals in debate. And then, meanwhile, after swimming at the end and debate's still happening, he goes, I'm gonna run track. And not just run track, but go, I'm gonna do the hardest one, and I'm gonna go to districts in that, and get a hair away from state too. It's like, it's almost like whatever he touches, it just turns to gold, right? Yeah, well, you think he's never gonna top it, and then after he graduates high school, he goes, well, I might be a doctor.
But not just a doctor.
Not just a doctor.
And not do it at a regular time. He's like,
oh yeah, he goes, well, I'm gonna do it in 6 years. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But then he also goes, well, I think I should get a master in public health too. Oh yeah, and he did that in a year and published like 6 papers. And I mean, it's just with his future wife, current wife.
Julie Matthews.
I mean, it's just been Nick. We'll wrap this up. I'm sorry it's taken so long. We're so amazed at our brother Nick, both from the older side and the younger side, at what he's shown us we can do. We have doubts of ourselves, and he's constantly pushed the envelope and gone further than what we can do. And he's set the tone here by marrying Julie, who's just set the bar so high for the rest of us. It's just this incredible person. And Julie, we're so happy to have you a part of our family. And I don't know. That's it. We wish you guys the best. Yeah. We look forward to how you raise the bar and shoot past that line in the sand in the years to come. Keep raising the bar, and Julie, Nick, congratulations. We love you.
2 years ago, Nick said to us, finally, hashtag finally, for this wedding, it's about time. Nick came to us and he said, I'm ready to propose to Julie. And at the time, I was worried. I don't shed real tears, I'm not hydrated enough for that. I'm just an emotional mess. Nick said to us, I'm ready to propose, and at the time I was working in the custom jewelry industry. Again, my mom's rolling her eyes going, Annie, this isn't about you. And I was like, well, you know, I have a friend that does custom, and I think Nick said, I want something amazing. Julie deserves the best. And I remember we had this hilarious trip where Nick and Lincoln drove into New York City at 3 o'clock in the morning, and Nick hid the entire thing from Julie the whole trip. And we got her engagement ring designed, and I feel so incredibly lucky to have a piece of this marriage because I care so much about my brother. And I remember that was one of the first times in a long time Nick and I got to spend time together. And every time he comes to visit, and every time I get to see him, my heart feels so full. So I'm losing my mind. This is a shameless plug. You should look at the rings. They're almost as beautiful as the life they're going to share together. And I love you both so much.
To adore is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart, but please don't break it. Love was made for me and you.
It's for the only one that I see. He's very, very extraordinary. It's even more than it's all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a dream for two. I'm talking about
nice round of applause for the newlyweds, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful.
She can lead you to love. She can take you on leave. She can ask for the truth, but she never believes. She takes what you give her as long as it's free. Yeah, she steals like a thief, but she's always a woman to me. Oh, she takes care of herself. She can wait if she wants. She's ahead of her time. She never gives in. She just changes her mind. She's frequently kind and she's suddenly cruel. She can do as she pleases. She's nobody's fool. She can be convinced she's earned her degree. And the most she will do is throw shadows at you, but she's always a woman to me.
A nice round of applause for the father of the bride dancing with his daughter on her wedding day.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments for people and the things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I've loved you more. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. These memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things I still can't recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love you more. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
How about a nice round of applause for the mother of the groom dancing with her son on his wedding day?
So with marriage comes family and friends, and everybody has to be willing to give and take. And I think at the end of the day also with marriage and friends is there's always friends and family here. So I do want to just give a toast to Nick and Julie and thank everybody for being here today again, and salute. Congratulations to Julie Matthews and Nick Boniface, Mr. and Mrs. Boniface in the future. And thank you for everybody being here.
It's a beautiful night. We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey, baby, I think I wanna marry you. Is it the look in your eyes, or is it this dancing juice? Who cares, baby? I think I wanna marry you. Well, I know this little chapel on the boulevard we can go. No one will know. Oh, come on, girl. Who cares if we're trash? Got a pocket full of cash we can blow. Shots of Patrol. And it's on, girl. Don't say no, 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 no. Just say yeah, 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 yeah. And we'll go, 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 go. If you're ready, like I'm ready. 'Cause it's a beautiful night. We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey, baby, I think I wanna marry you. something dumb to do.